All I can say is no one knows what's right anymore. You're either left or you're right. No one cares. No one cares anymore if you're right. So there's nothing left. There's nothing left. No one's right. No one's right. No one's right.
Hey, motherfucker, are you listening to me? Yeah, I do think so. Hey, motherfucker, are you talking to me? Yeah, I do think so. Hey, motherfucker, you fucking with me? I'm about to lose control. Hey, motherfucker, I think there's something you should know. Power. Aloha, everyone.
You gonna bust out that one on the go on the fly, man.
Hey,
That was a weird one, man. Yeah,
that was fun too because I was reading the comments too, and I was like, "Wow, this is a weird vibe. This is creepy shit." Like, it's
yeah,
music on a whole another level.
yeah.
I love it.
That one was weird because we picked Splinters up at a estate sale, and he was really expensive. I was like, wow, I'd really like to have that, but I'm not paying $175 for it. And, the lady who's running the estate sale just walked out and had these thank you bags in her hand. She was like, okay, these bags, anything you can fit in them is $5. Man, I grabbed him so quick it could make your head spin. I threw him into the $5 bag. I brought him home, and as I do, I talked to Chad Freeman and JW Big Tex on here and Blue Unicorn, and they're like, "Yeah, how long is it going to take you to put that on the internet?" And an hour later, we had Hey MF come over the thing and had the puppet in there, and I kind of changed his clothes up a little bit since then, but he's like really, really sing, "Hey motherfucker." But yeah, so with my music, man, I just try to color all outside the lines, man. I did that when I was a kid, and I do that when I'm grown, um, and so that was going to be doomed to happen as soon as Splinters came into my possession, that he was going to be part of the pole vault lore. But
And Splinters, you named them Splinters.
Splinters Bordeaux.
Nice.
Which is kind of weird because he's not even made out of wood, but I don't even know what the hell he's made out of. But he's like really, really, really freaking old, really old. And he's probably saying the same about me right now. But yeah, the thing about my music and stuff is this will strike everybody funny. I do not know one chord on any instrument. I
Oh,
do not.
really? That was going to be my first question. Do you play any instruments? So,
Everything you hear on there, everything you hear, I do not have any. At the very beginning of this whole YouTube journey, I used in the first few songs, I used to use loops and digital and stuff. I mean, in the very first few songs, and YouTube came across and was like, "Hey, no big deal. The artist that you're using their music said it's okay to use their music." And I'm like, what the hell? And I talked to the guy, and he's like, Yeah, dude, we're using the same music software. And so the drum loop that you used is the same drum loop or same drum that I was using. And that's when I started going to, I was like, fuck that. I don't want that to happen anymore. And I started using like this SR22 drum machine. And a lot of my music, you'll notice, doesn't even have drums on it at all. Because I can play a lot of instruments. Sunshine, she plays the flute in a lot of the songs. She does a lot of the backing, but I basically bang on everything I have until it makes the sound that I want. Um, uh, my brother says I play. My brother teaches guitar, and he's like went to school, like I mean college, to learn how to play guitar. And he said, "Dude, you play by ear." And I was like, "No, no, dude, I use my hands." So it's like, but
Hey, I mean, Blue Unicorn, he makes his own instruments.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know?
And the thing is sometimes I like to learn a lot from the music community, but there's a lot of things I don't want to learn, like music structure and all that. I want to do what it is I'm doing and just keep doing it that way. Um, and everything I do is just a pot of influence from my life. The records that I make, they all connect, most of them all connect together to make a story. And
Right.
that comes from like Pink Floyd The Wall, where the albums had a concept album. There's other albums like King Diamond and what have you. And then there was Iron Maiden, had, they would have a theme of the album and stuff. And I was like, wow, that's wild. I would like to make a concept album. Then I thought, and then I heard all these conspiracies about the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. I was like, okay, instead of being conspiracies about what they're doing, I actually do that stuff. And but
Right.
it doesn't have any dark hidden overtones or anything. It's like I was explaining to you earlier, the song I think it was the day the sun stood still. At the very beginning, there's a whisper, and it's me saying I'm dead, even though you think the main character's still alive at that point. And I understand most people that are listening to it now will never reverse it or anything. I just always think like, is this could this be something like the Beatles, the Led Zeppelin? Some of us never get famous until we're gone. And like 20 years from now, is somebody going to be sitting in their basement turning my album backwards and going, "Oh my God, on the second song, he's already telling us the main character's dead," you know?
Right.
And I think the song before that was the male character in the albums says, "You're all in my head," but it's slowed down 3 times so that it just sounds like I'm in the background going, "Hmm." But if you speed it up 3 times, you can hear the male character say, "It's all inside my head." And the female character says, "I'm not inside your head." Um, but at the same time, you have to write these songs so that they can stand alone. Cause I mean, not everybody's got time for all that bullshit, like I'm going to go and sift through this guy's music. I just want to hear this one song. So it has to be able to stand alone, but at the same time, you want it to go with the flow of the album. And if you listen to the songs and the way they come out, it tells a story, especially the She Is and Here albums. And this one is going to be Eclipse. They'll flow together. Uh, so yeah, just keeping it freaking weird, man.
Hey,
And
it's
it
that's the thing because I seen a few people saying this is weird, this is whatever, but I seen a few people like LSP, Aloha, by the way, LSP,
oh,
and
I
Ed Hen,
did
like
the
it's
Lord
interesting, and this is
fight.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, and now there is some songs that I put on a album called No Entry, and it was a big, it was all the songs I had made that weren't, because every now and then I'll put out a song that is not in the pole vault canon. Like I watched a Disney movie the other day and it pissed me off so bad. I left. I got up. Sunshine's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I can't watch this shit anymore." And I got up and went into the studio and made a song called "The Mouse is Dead." And
yeah, I just listened to that like an hour ago. Yep,
yeah, and and that has nothing to do with the pole vault canon. And the music is a little heavy and it's angry, but at the same time, I did not want to say something directly bad about the D company. And so I said the mouse was dead because, I remember when they used to put out really quality stuff, but now it seems like almost like pole vault, they're putting in these hidden meanings and messages and preachy shit. I mean,
yep,
if I wanted to see all that, I'd turn on the news. I want to go to a movie. I just want to watch a movie about a story about people. None of this, secondary agenda pushing shit.
right.
I get blasted with that. I want to have, and I think I try to do that with my music. I like to say my music is like a B horror movie put to music, and
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah,
there's nothing serious about anything I'm doing. I stay away from politics as much as possible. I stay away from anything controversial, and I stay right down that path because, man, we get that all day, every day. We get that all day, every day. I can walk in my front yard and mow my lawn and get some kind of politics or something. I
right.
people want. I think that's why people like to see scary movies. They like to go to theme parks and you know, and just try to get away from the shit for a minute. And that's what I'm trying to do with my music a little bit. Just
And that's
escape.
honestly, that's the reason we didn't like for everyone. We didn't even talk about this backstage or anything. Hey, Lily Pillies, Ronnie York, aloha. But we didn't talk about this backstage or anything. And but the reason I wanted to play left right first is because when I was listening to it before we were in backstage, it was
Uh,
just we're all the same. We're all the same. And that's it. That's the whole message to me. And
Yep.
it's true. It's dead on. There's no propaganda. There's no bullshit. We're all the same.
And the at the end was the older
Oh
guy from
yeah.
like another generation, and he's arguing with himself
Right.
about there's no left. It's only right.
Yep.
There's nothing left. And he's panicking that he doesn't even know where the hell he is. And
Right.
and what is was good has become evil, and plus, I might have been high. I don't
Exactly. I might have been high.
think.
Right on. And I'm
But
gonna give a shout out to LSP real quick for the
oh
super
yeah,
chat. It
oh yeah,
says, Steve,
man.
thanks for having Pole Vault. He is definitely a cool dude. Thank you,
Spike
LSP.
Protein
And
is
yes,
the
he
best,
is.
man. He is the best. He is one cool cat.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
you
So
know,
I'm gonna play a quick thank you video for him, 20
uh,
seconds.
oh yeah.
Thank you, LSP. I love that one.
Yeah, man. And I mean, and there's some people that's just so lost in this world. I mean, just the other day, I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, but I ran into a couple of people that do not believe that fairies wear boots. I was like, no, no, Chad Freeman. No, Chad Freeman in the chat. I see you. Team Boots. But yeah, and I think this is the storyline of the record so far, because I have to explain it a lot, and this would be a great time to do it. But the guy was lonely at the very beginning. He did not have a woman, and he's wishing and wishing and wishing for a woman. And when the song Unpure comes, he's almost being like he's the bad person, and he's going in. But this is when he gets either possessed, or he believes in his mind that there's a woman, and he's happy about it. And as he gets more secure, because now he's got this woman in his life, he becomes more cocky, and he's like, hey, I'm strong now. I can go do whatever I want. And he tries to rid himself of the woman that is in his mind, whatever. And because I don't want to give that away yet, but so as that goes on, he once she gets mad at him, she starts to tear him down, because now she's mad. She's a woman scorned, and she's tearing him down. Then she drives him to the point of insanity. He tries to get away from her by dying, I'll just put it that way, at the end of the last album. But at the beginning of this album, you think that he's been resuscitated, and now he's better, and he's talking to psychiatrist, and the voice is not there anymore. And then all of a sudden, the character named She says hello at the end of that very song. So as much as he's telling himself she's gone, she's there. And then he realizes he wasn't resuscitated. And that is what comes about. And that's why I was saying at the beginning of the next song, it has the part where he's like, I'm dead. Then the very last song I made was one called Worms, to confirm to anyone that didn't know, he's dead. And we're going on from there. And just a little sneak peek here on Steve's show, little letting the cat out of the bag. His hell will be her. That is his hell. And I don't want to give any more about that, because that'll be the end of the album, but we'll see how that works out for him. And like I said, it's like writing a horror story with music. And
That's what's beautiful. That's the beautiful part to me, because man, that's just yeah, that's
yeah, and
awesome.
I may or may not have told Steve how that's going to end, but what
Yeah.
I'd like to do with my lyrics is paint myself into a corner that I feel there's no way to get out of. And I think if and I know this is crazy, because a lot of people listen to the music, and I like to make the music stand on itself by its own, like one song. They can listen to it. They don't have to listen to everything. Like Pink Floyd, The Wall. Everybody knows we don't need any education. We don't need any education. But they didn't realize this whole albums are about Syd Barrett and his slipping into insanity and stuff. But you don't have to know that to like Comfortably Numb. And Comfortably Numb meant so many different things to so many different people. And I'm not Pink Floyd, I'm not Led Zeppelin, I'm not the Beatles, but I learned from them. And another thing I really want to say is I learned so much from our community. The last song I made, you might notice that it ended at 3 minutes 58 seconds. I heard Jade Starr, wished I could remember. Jade Starr was talking to someone and said, "Isn't it a shame that any any songs that are over 4 minutes on Spotify and stuff, they won't like they're not putting it up. They're trying to keep all songs under 4 minutes. Well, I learned from that, and I ran that song up to 3 minutes 58 seconds. Frank Turzo's another one, and I felt like man, I'm putting out some of these tracks to try to connect these dots, and it's really some of my songs, I will admit, some of my songs sound like crap, but it's because they're connecting the dots, and sometimes it's hard to do. And Frank was like, dude, it's okay. Those are what we call album tracks, and they're making the continuity of the album. For the person who's listening to the album, it puts the flow to it. Okay. If you listen to my songs that want to go really mellow and go quiet, and then you'll hear something, and then it'll go way, but in its context setting still on the net, it sounds like, why would he do that at the end of that song? But if you're listening to it connected to the other song, it goes straight up and does the flow of the album. And then Chris Lane, when I was doing a lot of this stuff, Chris Lane, I was getting nervous one time, and I was like, man, I don't want to put out this track. It's taking me forever. And I was taking, a week or two to try to get a track out that I had done. And Chris Lane, with this infinite wisdom, said, hey, man, let her rip, Tater Chip. And I was like, okay. He said, dude, you'll be working on the next song before you can worry about what happened last. And I took that. And a lot of people are like, wow, he puts out a lot of songs, and there might have been a scratch or something, like I dropped a lighter in the recording, you hear it click. That's just another part of that song, man. That's
Right.
Just let it rip, get out there, dance like nobody's watching, let it rip. And if I never expected to make it as far as I have, I never expected to get some of the things I've gotten happen to me. And, I appreciate all, my haters, my lovers, whatever. I love everybody that comes to my channel. I'm glad. I've had, I had an email. I've had 3 emails now that just gave me such a spine in the music. This dude said, hey man, I'm in my grow room and I am totally freaking blazed. I'm listening to your She Is album, and I swear, man, I'm losing my mind. I've had this like totally out of body experience from listening to your music. And I was like, dude, because I used to listen to Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and King Diamond, Dio, Ozzy, and I would maybe I dabbled a little bit in the getting intoxicated, but I would have these experiences, listening to Crazy Train with my headphones on, that Randy Rhoads slide where it goes ear, and it just felt like it went through my head, and I would have these total experiences, and I'm like, dude, I was just that to that dude. For him to take the time and email me and say, man, you totally blew my mind with that shit. I'm like, dude, this is never with me, believe me. And I think we all know this isn't about money. It never was about money. It's about just getting my music out there and being heard. And back when I was in a band, and I've even seen a couple of my old bandmates roll through here. And but being in a band, sometimes with a lot of opinions, is good to make a good product, because you get a lot of insight on that product. But at the same time, it really, really slowed down the output of music. I mean, I'm talking about, it took us like 6 months to make one song. I mean, and now, like I will set my studio. I made my garage studio. I got like 20 guitars in here and all this kind of crazy stuff. But I'll like get up and I'll be like, you know, let's see, and I'll do something like. And I'll take something like that. I'll run it on a loop, you know, and I'll run it into my computer, run that on a track, and then I will go into it and I will put something with my guitar. And, you know, I'll start with some kind of like slow, like acoustic. I like contrast in the music. So I will start off with something on my guitar that's clean, like where it almost sounds acoustic, and then I will or use acoustic, and then I will lay something really heavy and dirty over the top of it. And I know a lot of people probably listen to my music and think, dude, that dude has got no timing at all. Well, remember at the same time, I'm usually blazed, but but I have this feeling that AI is going to start making music pretty soon. I've seen it. I've already seen it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I've seen channels where it's setting up making badass music all night long, streaming, making AI badass music. But one thing I can almost, I think me and Blue was joking about this one time. It's never going to make pole vault music. AI,
right? See,
it's never going to be that off. And I think I remember talking with Mr. Smith and Frank one time and some of the guys in a chat, and my drum machine, you know, I don't play drums, so I throw that in there, but nothing will replace the sound of a real human playing the instrument. And
yep.
and AI can put in this boom, boom, but it's always going to be the same. It's not going to have that extra little flair. It's not going to have, because I'll go off time on purpose, because once again, we always got to come back to the same thing. I may have a buzz. Okay. and what feels good to me and what the sound I like when I have a buzz is what I'm playing. I don't know unless they can start to get AI to, you know, smoke a little. AI is not going to know that feeling. And I think me and Sunshine Archer was in the chat. She's very musical. She reads music and she plays the flute. All this, she's really great. But one time she said, you know, the note that you keep hitting, that you keep saying is the note that people relate to when they're buzzed is C. Wasn't that right? I think Sunshine Archer said C. It's C. But you know, I just like think, what would I like to hear if I was just chilling, you know? And before I met Sunshine Archer, I know that this was a million years ago. I used to go out and get trashed at the clubs or something, and just I remember some of the hangovers and stuff. I remember laying on my bed one time and I was sweating, and the air conditioner was up and stuff, but I was still sweating like a dog, and laying on the waterbed, you know, floating around. And my alarm clock went off to let me know it was time to go to work. And it was this song, and it was like, how much is that doggy in the window? Ruh, 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 ruh. And dude, it was one of the most surreal freaking feelings. And sometimes I try to capture that feeling where I could just hear this doom in my head of the doom. You're going to work, you know, the world is crushing in on you. You're too drunk to even stand up, but you're going to dock yourself up and, you know, pour yourself into like a bus and go, 3 blocks down the street to go to work because you can't freaking walk. And then, and who were you with last night? What the hell did you do? Why's your
How
friends
did I
got,
get home?
yeah, why's your friends got all these messages on your, phone machine? We used to have an answering machine and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's got like 32 blinking on it, and you're like, oh shit. And, but that feeling of like little happy, how much that doggy in the window with this doom. And that's kind of, sometimes what I do with some pole vault music, just like the contrast. It's always contrasting, not always. And I'm always glad to have my wife. Oh, wait, my partner, Sunshine Archer. She always brings a lot to the table. She gives me that, that a lot of the songs we do, it gives it that almost lullaby sound, like where you're feeling
Right. You know
relaxed.
what? I was gonna say with that doggy in the window, and because I've been checking your channel out for the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, because I knew you were coming on, and I've always been interested in your music. And the more I check your channel out, the more I'm like into it. Like it's just it like opens. It's almost like doing drugs without doing drugs. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It opens parts of your brain that are like, oh wow, it's being more open minded without even realizing you're being more. It's just I appreciate the shit out of it, dude. It's awesome. But
And
anyway, with that, I was gonna say like if you don't mind if I could play this one real quick
oh yeah,
because
yeah,
I
man.
love this one. It's a cover, but I love the artist and I love what you did with this song.
Yeah.
It's just badass.
We call that
So
pole
I'm gonna
vaulting
play
stuff.
this, and before I play it, if one of my mods could drop Pole Vault's link for his, so if anyone's not subscribed, they can, and I'll pin it at the top. But this is God's Gonna Cut You Down, Johnny
Oh yeah.
Cash cover,
Oh yeah.
and this is awesome.
Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Don't tell that long-tongued liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the random, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell them that God gonna cut them down. Tell them that God's gonna cut them down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I've not heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name, and my heart stood still when he said, John, don't do my will. Don't tell that long-tongued lie. Don't tell that midnight ride. Tell the random, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time. working in the dark against your fellow. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. We can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God cuts you down. Sooner or later, God cuts you down. So don't tell that long-term liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the gambler, the gambler, that tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down.
That is awesome, man. I just
Yeah,
love it.
that's another one that has like a little story to it.
Yeah,
back
I was gonna say, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I think Chad said it. Yeah,
Mhm.
there you go. Ask Povo about his Johnny Cash story.
So back in 1973, I was very small. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. We stopped in this catfish restaurant in Arkansas next to the Red River, and it's known for having really good catfish. And we stopped back there, and I know a lot of people don't understand 1973 very well, but it was a different place. There was no cell phones, no nothing, and there was only like 3 stations on the TV, and Johnny Cash was on all 3 of them. Okay. Anyhow, I see Johnny Cash and I'm looking at him because he's got these rhinestones on, black. He's dressed in black. And I'd really dug that. I really dug the look he had going on. And he's like, "Come here, boy." And he knew that the whole restaurant had been staring at him. And he was on the road or something. And I came over, he picked me up and he had me in his arms and he looked at the whole crowd of people looking, everybody's clapping. And he said, "Hey, boy, why don't you tell these people who I am?" And I said, "You're Elvis." And I mean, you could have heard a pin drop in there.
Oh,
And my mother and grandfather was like, "Oh, you're going to get it. Oh, you are going to get it." And people were like, "Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So someone get that child. Someone get, hey." And Johnny Cash, being so freaking cool, says, "Shut up, everybody. Shut up. This boy knows Elvis when he sees him." And he was like, "Ain't that right, boy?" And I smiled at him. I was like, "That's right." And he was like, "Now you go over there and you eat you some catfish." And he sat back down and started eating, and he winked at me. But my mom and grandfather were still looking at me like, "We're gonna kill you when we get outside." But yeah, that's my Johnny Cash story, man. So I
that's
called Johnny
definitely
Cash
something I'd
Elvis.
never forget.
Yeah. I mean,
You're
I don't
Elvis.
remember much from back then, but that's something you don't forget, man.
But what a down earth cool guy though. Just
Yeah. Oh
know,
yeah, that's what was. Yeah.
it's
Because he knew my ass was grass. He knew it.
right.
And it was all but, and back then in 73, Elvis and Johnny Cash didn't look that much different, except Elvis wore white and he wore black. And another thing I always liked about Johnny Cash, and one of the reasons why you nearly always see me wearing black, is I seen when he was young, they said, "Hey, Johnny Cash, why you always wearing black, man?" He said, "Man, I wear black for the downtrodden. I wear black for the working man. I wear black for all the injustices that are going on in this world. I'm going to wear black until it changes." And
Yep.
I was like, that day, I was like, "Hey, man, I need to get some black clothes, man." You know, and it was just Johnny Cash, like that picture. I don't know if you've seen the picture where he's flipping everybody off. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Yep.
he was real. He was real. And
Exactly. Yep.
he had his mess ups, and we all do. Just everybody else hid theirs better. Uh, but I really dig Johnny Cash. But if you ever see my cover songs, you'll notice they hardly resemble the song at all. But I'm all after that. I'm just always wrestling with, like, YouTube's going to say copyright or something. And
Right. Yes.
I try to keep straight with them because I've worked so hard to build up what I got. I've seen some artists that I will not name that work their asses to the bone and lose it all in a day without any kind of retort or anything else. And it's just not, they don't realize that this is a give situation. They see it as we need them, and we do need them. We do need them, but they need us also. And I
Yeah.
would,
Yeah. It works both ways.
yeah, I would like to be treated as a partner or a customer, or but to just talk to a generated AI machine that's like, sorry, we've looked at that, we've reviewed that, and we're not going to do anything.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Mm.
that had nothing to do with the 250 characters I just got to write you. I'm like, you know, like, I wrote the song. I made the music. How in the hell are you saying this is a copyright kind of deal? Sorry. I think Chad Freeman was on Facebook, got a strike on a song of mine from Sony. Not a strike, but they gave him a warning. And Sunshine Archer sat right next to me in the studio, and it's on one of my albums. DistroKid cleared it. It's on YouTube. It's on all these other platforms, but Facebook said, "Nah." And dude, there couldn't be a song. I mean, I would like to say I'm good enough to sound like other people, but I don't think Sony has a artist that sounds like me. I really don't. And so it really caught me off guard, and I was shook by it a little bit. But you know, I never heard anything back from them. I was like, "Hey, what's this about?" Chirp, 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 chirp. They didn't even respond back to me. So I just
Well,
try to keep it careful.
speaking of albums, because you said on one of your albums, how many albums do you have?
I think I got 6 albums right now.
Yeah. Nice.
This um, let's see, and they've all been put out this year, but the thing is I had been building these up for a while. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 albums. Um, and I'd been building them up for like a year. And Chad, even though he believes fairies don't wear boots, he's a good guy, and he hooked me up. He's like, "Hey man, this you need to be putting out albums. You got 200 songs here, man." And at that time, now I got like close to 300, but he's like, "You got so much. Why aren't you putting this out?" And I'm like, dude, it's so much work and it would be such an effort to do. He's like, hey man, there's this thing called DistroKid. And you just give them your music and they put it out and they handle all the BS for you. And I was like, okay. And I was over on Jade Stars tonight, and their stream was sponsored by DistroKid. And I will stand up and I will say they're my best friend because they put me out on so many different platforms and deal with so much bullshit that I don't have to deal with. I just make the music and make the album cover, hand it over to them, and they put me on so many different platforms. And if I had to do that myself, I just don't know how I'd do it. Not trying to do a commercial for them or anything, but they're almost as much of what pole vault is as anything else. And like I said, I try to, I was talking to you about it earlier. A lot of things I feel like I want to try to do and is kind of reach outside of our community and bring in some people that are outside of our community. I have some people here tonight that is in our chat that's from outside communities that just love them to death. Joe and Trixie, are from a total non-music community, even though Trixie has a son that is just bomb diggity at music. But that's why I think if I go live, if I start to do a live channel, it will be something a little different, but try to lead it back to music to bring in people to our community. Sunshine Archer right now is working on a album that sounds nothing like pole vault, and she likes Viking music. There is a whole community of people that like that is not in our community. And I think, when you step outside, and like I was telling you earlier, a lot of people appreciate music across the board. And I've always taught my kids, hey, if someone's singing or playing a guitar and you think it's awful, just remember that is who that person is, and never laugh at who a person is. Okay.
Yep.
find the good part of that. Okay. If you think he sounds bad, realize that guy is singing from the inside of his soul and putting it out there. I mean,
Yep.
I've seen, there's one band, I forget who it is, but was Nirvana's favorite band and Soundgarden's favorite band. And it was these young girls that just played this random thing, but it was so, and had no timing or anything, but it was so raw. And what it was coming across was so pure. And right now, I say this all the time to our music community, especially, we are taking, I'm going to try to put it down, I'm going to tone it down a little bit. We are taking over the music world. I just left out a few cuss words there. But these big labels telling artists what to write, what they want them to write, how they want them to write it, and it's all sounding the freaking same. And hey man, I dig Miley Cyrus, but dude, she has had a song Flowers up on the top chart, and it's a good song. Don't get me wrong. But it's been on the top charts for freaking a year nearly. Okay? And it sounds like other stuff. The new stuff, the real outside the line stuff is coming from our community right now. And the stuff that they don't want to do anymore, that music's dead. We're not going to play any 60s music anymore. Well, there's a band called Ghost BC. And to me, especially on their second, third album, they were playing 60s music. And no one wanted to sign them, but freaking everybody loved the music. And that was a style. And the thing is there's just become no room for anything outside of what that music big label wants. And I would say my music is nowhere inside of that. And you know, and I love it when someone writes a song that sounds like Willie Nelson or something. That, you know, country now, people ask me, you know, do you like country music? Yeah. Have you heard any lately? Because what they're calling country music right now, I really would not consider. I
Right,
like
yeah.
Waylon and Willie and Christopherson and all of them. That was country to me, but and I think, and like I said, I'm not going to say anything bad about what's coming out now. I just think it's misclassified as what it is. But a lot of times I don't feel really good about some people in, especially the professional music community, like the big names, when they write something that's disingenuous. Like, no longer are they putting themselves in there. They went in, someone said, hey, write a song about this, make it sound like this. We're going to auto tune it, and I'm cool with auto tune, but every song's going to have auto tune. We're going to put you right in the right key that we think you should be in. Everything's going to be the way we think you need to be. And that artist kind of has to die inside a little bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like, I mean, could you imagine it, you know, going up to Leonardo da Vinci and saying, hey, man, we got you this color by dot, you know, color by numbers,
Right.
you
It's
know?
yeah, that's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
really good point because yeah, it's like it's you and it's your music and it's what you feel, and that's what everyone likes, but then someone's like, "Well, yeah, do that, but just not this, and that, and add this," and it's like, "Well, that's not me anymore. Fucking not me anymore." Like, what, you know?
Yeah, and then once again, a lot of it goes back, and you know, I hate to say this because of my music, but I can deal without violence in music. Hey man, and I wouldn't say I don't listen to it, okay, because there's some good artists out there, but just, you know, going overboard and I cuss like a sailor, but
Right, me too.
we just
And I
now
forgot
listened
to
to a
tell you
song.
beforehand
Yeah,
that you can cuss because I cuss
well,
too, and I think I already did like 5 times. I don't catch myself, but
well, I think my first song, my second song here was "Hey Motherfucker," you know,
right, yeah. Yeah.
but the thing is to just always force it in, you know, to try to sell anything that seems gimmicky to sell an album.
Yep.
And like I said, my stuff must seem really gimmicky sometimes, but it really is not. It is me doing something that I feel that I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to be different. And I'm one of those people, I guess I don't have to try as hard because I can't be the same. but we're
Right.
but once again, back to the song, we're all the same. And you know, without splitting us all up, and you know, and that's why I see music as music. I don't split it up, you know, I don't uh I see everything. There's the song machine just checked in, Mr. Robbie Stingle there. Uh but it, like I said, eh, I just you see how I start out with the organ or some other instrument. We just got a violin, and we got violins, flutes. Uh, in that last song, and one of the songs I made, the last song, I'm actually banging on a piece of hollow bamboo. Um, we're just always trying to make a different sound. Sometimes I want to go digital, and I watch a lot of Jade, and I'm like, wow, I could save so much time because that would be really cool. That would be really cool. I just always got the fear in me from that first event where they were like, hey, that drum loop, we're giving you a copyright warning on that drum loop. And I was like, and then I went into the fine print. And I won't name the software, but the fine print of the software actually said that they share rights to any music you make with said software. And I was like, I've got to stop this. The software was made by the same company that makes the software for your computer. So just without naming them. And so it should come as no surprise that would be in the fine print. But what you hear in my music is me. And it's like I said, it's never going to another thing I like not being in a band. I was in a metal band. We played metal music. I don't know if you've heard some of my music, but some of my music could be classified as classical. I made one song called Fate that sounds like, like it's got flute, and I tried to do cello on the organ. And, but once again, I come back to everything's music. If it sounds good, it's good. And also I might be coming off of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin on that a little bit too. You can see my influence, and the Beatles, where they would have a heavy song and then go into Mother Mary, or what was that? Yeah. What was that?
But that's what music is to me, is if it sounds good, then it's good, because I don't play any instruments. I don't, nothing. I just love music. That's why I do this. I just love music. If it sounds good, it's good. And if it doesn't sound good, I still respect it, because like you were saying earlier, what you were telling your kids, they're
That
putting their heart into it, and that's what sounds good to them. So at least respect that,
it's a canvas. It's a canvas, and music is their paint. They're painting this picture for you.
Yep.
And whatever that picture is, it is them. Okay. Say someone barely knows how. One of the cool things I like to do, and I've really done this a lot. Sometimes I'll stay up late at night. I can't sleep very well sometimes, but I'll set and I will put in some kind of like new music, and I will search and go down to the bottom to people who has 2-3 views, and it'll be like a 10-year-old kid learning how to play guitar, and I will put, man, you're smoking it. And there's a bunch of 10-year-old kids out there to smoke it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I mean, there's some kids out there that shred and will put me to shame. But the thing is sometimes that little pat on the back, and that's also a good feeling. One kid was like,
Right.
"Oh my God, I can't believe you're on my site. I went and looked at your music. And I'm like, no, man, this ain't about me. This is about you. And you are going to be way better than me. Okay. You are 10 years old. You are putting out videos on YouTube." And he's like, "Yeah, but it was like crap." I was like, I put out worse videos now. Okay. And the kid was stoked. And now every time he puts out a video, I go by there and give him a pep talk. And, keep at it, man. They don't have to be 10-year-old kids. I'm not a 10-year-old kid. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's been a couple of times when I've thought about, throwing in the towel, like this is just too much. Pookie came through one day, and I was just like I was like, oh man, this is just and Pookie pretty much said what I just said. She's like, "Hey man, you putting it out there for everybody, and we appreciate it." And I was just like, dude, I really needed that right then, because it ain't always easy, you know, dealing with.
Yeah, nothing's easy.
Well, no, that day, YouTube had taken a lot of subscribers from me and taken a lot of views and I'm like, why? And it was after I did Clay's show, and see, like after I do your show, or whenever I would do a show, especially when I was new to all this, I would get a big bump, and I was so stoked. And then I'd come back the next day, and it's gone. And I was like, what am I working for here? Now I just keep rolling, and I do admit, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to the monetized level. I don't even know what I'm going to do. But them taking those hits and subs made me knuckle down. And Conspiracy has done so much for me. I will tell you that. He does so. We should name him Saint Conspiracy, because he has done so much for me. And one of the things
Clay
was, he was like,
awesome,
hey, man,
dude.
throw some shorts. He's like, polls, throw some shorts out there. I was like, shorts? He's like, yeah, throw some short videos out there of anything, and you will get people that will hit that, and then they'll come listen to your music. And now, you're getting I got you. I'm putting up pictures of my dog, and it seems like cheating sometimes, because I'm getting the hits and I'm getting the views and I'm getting subs. But those people are sticking around for the music. They're like, wow, dude, I really like this, and I really like this. Now, of course, sometimes it works the other way. They're like, hey, man, I thought this was a cute, fluffy dog site. And that last song I listened to was a little rough, buddy. I'm out of here. But, it's just another way of reaching out. And he gives a lot of people exposure that would have not gotten it.
Clay is awesome, man. And we go way back too. We did 10 shows, episode, I don't know what you call them, but we did 10 music mayhems, and that's, and then we took a break, which I guess we're still on, but we're still really good friends. And now I'm doing this, which is, Clay is just down to earth, great guy, man.
Oh yeah.
Great guy.
I mean, he's out there doing good work, man. And you get to see, and then now I get to see other people grow like I did. And like I said, there was some times when I thought, I am not going to do this anymore. And some of my old time people that sub to me at the first, like JWB Tex, there were some rough times in there, man. I mean, I put out some stuff that would make the dogs howl, but I just kept doing it, man. I just kept doing it. And if it's good or not, I've gotten over it. I used to worry about what people would think about it and all this. And once you let that go and you can be yourself and just really be yourself, like I've kind of gone into, I can make better music. I don't think I'm getting better at playing or singing. I know I'm not, because I'm as good as I was the day I picked up the guitar. I'm still shitty. But the thing is confidence in your playing and what you're doing is a big, big deal about putting out music. And I see, and that's why I'm always trying to make sure to give people, that boost that they need. Like, hey, man, I was freaking awesome. And, and the next time you see them come out, it's even better. And I would hope the same from me. When someone tells me, hey, dude, that was awesome, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna try a little harder.
No, yeah, because that's my, if you can make a difference in one person's life,
Yeah.
then you want to make a difference in more. right? So you want to try harder and just yeah, it's that.
And of course I've had a couple of haters, but it's always been really weird on the hate thing. Like, oh my God, you know, like that lady was doing something in your video. I'm like, what? Yeah, she is. Okay. Okay. Did I see that devil lady in your video? Is she naked? I I really don't know. And that's become a big deal of this whole scene too. Making videos has become probably as big a part of this as anything.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing with anything though. Anything you do, there's always going to be someone to I don't know nitpick, whatever you want to call it, like to break it down and be like, "Who was that?" And it's like, "What are you talking? Like, oh, that I didn't even notice that. Why would you?
I
Like,
think the
I
most
made the
triggering
video and I didn't notice it."
I think the most triggering thing I can say to them is thanks, like and subscribe. Thanks for the hit. Hey, if you didn't like that, wait until you see this shit. And make sure you do tune in to see that, because it's going to be really, really off the hook. But like I said, I you see kind of my whole make of it, and when how I go, and this is the guitar that most everything's played on. It's BC Rich kind of Explorer type, and kind of matches the walls and stuff in here. And most all my guitars are like 80s models, but and this one's like 82 or something. But and I have the matching Stratocaster version of this, and they would make them in like pairs back then. And I seen the matching one to it on eBay one time, and grabbed it. And a lot of people are probably thinking, well, dude, he must just have money to throw away. Very, very few guitars that are in my collection did I ever pay over $200 for. I usually pick them up on Craigslist or something in really, really bad condition. That one, let me see. This is one that was really, really. This one was really bad when I got it. I paid $50 for it, and I painted it glow in the dark, or had a little help from a lady called Slice on painting this one, but we painted it glow in the dark, and it cost $50. I put spare parts in it, and when I'm playing it, if you look, you can kind of see it has like the demon's mouth right here. See it right there?
Oh yeah. Yep.
But when you turn it like this, it has another mouth where the bridge is and the two eyes. And
Oh yeah. Yep.
on the back, I call this one the Wendigo, and it has on the back, it has a Wendigo painted here, and then where I usually play has a knife, and like a bloody knife. That's the handle. But this is all glow in the dark. Let's see. I can light her up here. I'll put it up to the black light real quick. And you can kind of see how it's glowing.
Yeah, I can see a glow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see the glow.
And so when you get in the black light, it really like lights up. But I think that guitar right there, I think the whole over end was about $75 on that guitar. And when I got it, I think I got pictures around somewhere, but it was an ESP that was just torn to pieces. And I sanded it. And the guy was, I think he said, what was he doing? Have you seen when they take new guitars and they try to make them look old? stressing them or something. But he really, really messed that guitar up bad. And I mean, I had to set everything from the neck to the bridge. I put Les Paul pickups in it that I had laying around. And so when I say I've got like, I think I got like 23 guitars, 24, 25. If Sunshine's in the chat, I only have 20 guitars.
She's in there. So it's only 20.
I got more than that.
You've been saying that the whole time. Since we started, you've been saying 20.
Yeah,
Everyone heard it.
Yeah. Dom almost got me the other day. Dom was like, "Hey, I've got this Washburn." And I'm like, "I got Washburns running out of my ass." And then he told me what model it was, and I was like, "Oh shit, must have." And then he told me, for both of our sakes, we better not do that deal. So we did not do that deal. But I get weak every now and then. I think right now I'm bidding on a saxophone, a ukulele, electric guitar, some other instrument. And when I see these instruments come across auctions, I'll be like at an antique auction. And dude, I paid like $5 or $10 for this stuff. The violin I got, $10. I paid $10. And the lady on OfferUp said, "I want to make sure this is going to a musician," which is kind of weird. And I'm like, "Well, you got the right dude." She's like, "Well, I just want to make sure that this is going to a musician." I was like, "Oh, that's me. But is it really $10? And she was like, "Yes, come get it." I laid stripes to her house because this is a brand new violin. I get there, and as I'm walking up the steps, she walks out with it in this brand new case and stuff. She looks at me and she's like, "I don't even have to ask the question." She's like, "I'm looking at you, and just by looking at you, I'm not going to ask you another time if you're a musician. This is going to the right place." And I was like, "Okay, hey, thanks. I got to get back to work. I do appreciate it." I got halfway to my truck and she was like, "I'm dying." I was like, oh
She wanted you to play.
No.
No?
She's like, "I just wanted to make sure that it was going to the right person." She's like, "It wasn't about the money. I wanted to make sure it was going to the right person." And then I told her, told her about my website, pole vault. And I said, "Ma'am, there will be at least hundreds of people that is going to hear this violin." And I thought I was going to do it, but then Sunshine got a hold of it. And now she's playing it.
It still went to the right person, right?
Yeah, it sure did.
And
things find their way that way. That guitar that I just showed you, I've had it for years and years and years. And I'm not going to name drop, but there's some pretty damn famous people that have played the guitar I just showed you. Really, really famous people. And it has seen so much stuff. It's so hard not to say names, but let's say a drummer from a very, 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 very famous metal band, probably one of the biggest dark metal bands ever, called me up one time and he said, "Dude, if that guitar could talk, I would have to come to your house and freaking kill it." Because it sits in my studio, and I used to have parties at my house, and he may or may not have been with groupies in front of said guitar. And I hope he's not in chat. He's gonna be like, "I'm gonna kill you." But no, it's seen some stuff. I mean, on the corner of that guitar, I mean, it's just to kind of give you an idea of its lifetime, this right here, this is human teeth marks. Right here.
Shit.
Yeah. You shouldn't
Damn.
grab people's feet while they're playing and stuff, you know. Yeah, that's why
Oh,
you gotta
human
have
teeth
the
marks like that.
you
Okay,
gotta
I
have an
got you.
explorer for the sweep. But yeah, man. And I mean, I guess while we're sitting here, I can show you a little. I hope this isn't too much here. But as I was showing, like with the yeah, there goes the tremolo bar. But as I was saying with the piano, how I come up with stuff. Is that too loud, Steve?
No, not
Okay,
at all.
so I bought a Boss GT pedal, and I can go through different settings. And how like that one video you watched, Run Rabbit Run. Well, anyways, I'll hit a funky setting on it, and it will just do something where it's a little out. But we put in something like that. We'll pull it down, come over to the organ, and we'll go, like I said, let's see, 90. We'll do something like that, get it looped, and then and just kind of loop that over. And the good thing about it, it's always giving me, you know, new ideas when you got like different settings. Of course, I can't find one of them right now because of course, right now I would have to do this. But I keep it real simple with like the riff, something like that. Clay's going to get me development of a void, something like this. There we go. And then I'll come over the top with some kind of and fade into it. And it's the whole way I build songs. And then when I get that bass, I will come across with something like, you know, I'll go in with the like drumsticks and go into like bongos or some crazy shit like that and try to build from the bass. And then when it becomes whatever character it is, at that point, I can lay in my lyrics and stuff, and I try to get the feel of whatever the song's going to be. Like the left right song that you played earlier, I knew when I went to go do that one, I knew that one was going to be heavy. And believe it or not, when you do hear the heavier songs, that was something I was more adjusted to and ready to play. And because of my background in metal and stuff, I'm no development of a void, but I've been known to tickle the metal strings a little bit. But I think back when I played metal was more the Judas Priest and Metallica, you know, dead.
Garage days and Ride the Lightning and
and so you could learn. Like I said, once again, I don't know one chord, but I could make the guitar make that sound. And once again, this is before Sunshine Archer. The ladies were a fan of that back then. So thank goodness for that.
To go back to like what you were talking about earlier in the beginning about the what was it? The Mouse is Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I watched that yesterday, I think, or the day before. I don't know. Within the past week, I watched it, and I really liked that one. And then you brought it up because I didn't bring that up to you before we started or anything. And then you brought up the story on that, and I was like, "Oh no, shit!" That was like one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
But so you just got fed up and said, "I can't watch this shit.
I can't watch
I'm
this. I
done."
can't watch this movie. Once again, I'm not going to say the movie. I try not to attack the company too much because they are a big company. But I mean, just like within like 45 minutes of the movie, they'd pushed 5 different agendas that just didn't need to be pushed, and it was a kids movie of all the damn
Right. It
things.
had nothing to do with what the movie was supposed to be,
Yeah, and I'm
right?
like,
Yeah.
why? Why? Why'd you
Yeah.
have to go there and force that in? You know? And I was just like, okay, going to the studio, and Sunshine's like, you want to watch this movie with me? I'm like, no. And I went into the studio, and all of a sudden you hear crunch, crunch, crunch. And I'm running around with freaking mouse ears
yeah.
on. Let's see. Yeah. I'm running around the studio with mouse ears on, and she's like, what are you doing? But I guess 30 years of being with me, she's probably used to seeing a little bit of everything. So
Right.
it couldn't have been that big of a shock, but at the same time, and that's the thing about being with someone so long, you have to really raise that bar to shock the shit out of them now.
Right. Right.
I think one at one party I rode the skateboard off my old band was here, and I rode a skateboard off the house, and I thought that was going to be a good idea. To anyone that's don't ride a skateboard off the house. I was supposed to say it. But if you do a tail kick right before you leave the edge, because the gutter will catch the front wheels and it will put you down quick. So
Remember that.
yeah. So
when I get around to doing the highlight video for this, that's going to be in there for sure.
Hey man, I'm telling you, it will put you down quick. And we used to do some crazy stuff, man. Like I said, if I go live, anyone that's seen some of my shorts, they probably pretty much already seen. I will probably put music in it and talk about my guitars and stuff, but at the same time, I will probably do some stupid shit. And the thing is some people are going to be like, hey, he's ripping off Jackass. And I'm going to say, hey, man, we were doing that stuff before they were born.
I've been around a lot longer. I've been
Hey,
around a
man,
lot longer that they were doing that shit.
and I blame it
They
on
put it on
everything.
video first.
I try to blame it on everything. When people say, why do you say crazy stuff and do crazy stuff? And I'm like, because I grew up without the internet, okay?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So we did, I think when I was like 10 or 12, I mowed a lot of yards forever and ever and got an Evel Knievel bicycle. And, a bunch of people could tell my teeth are a little messed up on the front. And that actually comes from that Evel Knievel bicycle. And do you know what a sawhorse is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I put a board on a sawhorse.
A wooden one?
A wooden one.
Oh,
and
man,
I jumped it on my Evel Knievel bicycle, and I started doing it, and I was putting like Tonka trucks and wagons out in front of the sawhorse, and I was jumping over it like Evel Knievel would. And a lot of people are not even going to know who Evel Knievel was, but back then he was my bomb, man. And so there was a lot of grown-ups got out there, and they started watching. They were like, at first they were like, oh, don't do that. Oh my God, that kid is really good at doing that, right? So they started watching me. And about that time, I took the tongue of the wagon, what you pull it with, and I put it on the end. They were like, I got nothing else left to jump. So I put the tongue of the wagon out, and I'm going to clear that too. Well, the back wheel of that Evel Knievel bicycle came down on the tongue of that wagon, and when it did, it flipped up and hit me in the back of the head and knocked me off the bicycle. And I caught nothing but like sidewalk with my teeth. And I get up and I'm missing my one of my front teeth, and then all of a sudden, all of the grown-ups were like, "We told you not to do that." I'm like, my mouth. And yeah, so I've done a lot of crazy stuff that's gotten me kind of messed up before. But I'm going to try not to do that on my live streams too much. Would like to do successful stunts or something.
Well, you know what gets more views when you're not as successful. But no, I'd rather you be successful.
I don't think we're going to have to worry about that.
I honestly don't want to see anyone get hurt.
No, because see, it can be as simple as you know, the other day these kids had a bicycle out in the front of our house. I was like, "Hey man, Papa Willie." Homeboy was like, "Papa Willie, what the hell is that?" I'm like, "Well, do tell, let me show you how." And I got on that bicycle, and dude, you know, like they say, it's like riding a bike. Well, I got on that bicycle, and I started to ride a wheelie down the street, and I was riding that bitch. And about that time, man, just boom. And I also realized at my age, I used to get up and be like, "Oh, I'm good." I was like, I'm good. I'm okay. Hey, y'all have a good time. I'm going in the house now." Yeah, so if nothing, and if you've seen my shorts lately, they've been I've been hunting fairies, and that's caused me to get stung by wasps probably 6 times in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh shit! Wow,
Yeah, no, because I feel like the wasps know where the fairies are. And you know what? Some wasps did not want to answer the question. I was like, "Where are they? Where are the fairies?" And they didn't want to answer the question, and they had to pay the price. So I went out there with like a dollar store dart gun and shot the nest, and that did not go well. So, but I think it almost got 5,000 views. So there you go.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Some people are like, "Wow, you got like 200,000 views." I'm like, "Yeah, I think I got half of that from, you know, hunting the fairies." But you know,
It's
like I
weird
said,
it's weird how shorts work.
yeah,
It's really weird how shorts work, because I was putting shorts out for a while, and I'm like getting 80 views, and I'm like, "Yeah, these shorts are stupid." And then
yeah,
I went camping like a month or 2 ago, and it was like 1 in the morning, and we were camping, and I had to take a piss. So I'm like, "Oh, I'll walk towards the ocean and just piss in a tree or something." And then I took a 15-second short just for the hell of it. I was half asleep, didn't even know what I was doing. Next morning is like 2.3 thousand views. I'm like, "For what?" It was 15 seconds of the ocean,
right,
and you could barely see it.
right.
But
You
okay.
keep them short. Clay, like I said, my sensei on making shorts is Clay, and he was like, "Keep them short, very short, and release them on the hour, not
Right.
not a second early and not 10 seconds late, on the hour." And what it is I think YouTube is their algorithm clears out at a certain time. And if you put your video in, it gets put in the list longer. So people don't go down the line so much on the shorts. So if you put your shorts up at the beginning of the list, they see it quicker. So more people
Right.
see it. And if you keep it short, because we live in this world of, you know, short span
Attention
memory here, you
span.
know, yeah,
Yep.
attention span. So you keep it short. And there's Robbie. He says he's got 435,000 views. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, that's what shorts would do. And the thing is you don't get money for views or anything else, but it's bringing people into your channel to hear your music. And that's why I do it. That and Clay told me to.
Yep. Yeah, because the last few shorts that I did that were just about where I live in Hawaii, and it's just and
Yeah,
I've gained at least 100 subscribers just from that in the
right,
past month, and
right,
and then
right.
that's cool too, like you said, because my whole thing is music. Even though I'm not a musician, I don't play instruments. I just love music, and it's my passion. So
Come come for the
if it
short,
brings
stay
more
for the music.
people in that weren't in the music community, then now they are. You know.
Well, like I said, and I appreciate this chance for you to come on. Or for you to come on, or tell me to come on. Whatever. But like I said, I don't get out much. I haven't put out lives. I don't know what I'm going to do if I do get monetized. And all this has really gotten crazy, because for almost a year I stayed around. I think when I remember Clay saying one time when I first met Clay, he was like, "Can we get this guy to 50 so he can do lives if he wants to?" And that was just about a year and a half ago. And like I said, that was when he was with Doc, and they got me up to 50 pretty quick. And you know, and I will tell you, Clay's been really, really good to me. Uh, and there's others in the community that have just helped. And this whole music community is just the best people, super nice people, all together, helping each other. I've never seen. You don't get this out in the
Right.
real world. They like to tell you we're all divided, like the left right song is. We're all divided, But here in this music community, I mean, is no big deal to reach out and give somebody a hand. Um,
Right.
and you go outside my front door, and I could be like, I'm dying. They'd be like, take a video, man. Now run. But here, people really, our community is really special in the world we live in today. And I think without a lot of the divisiveness that we see out there, uh, I think the real key is we wouldn't put up with the shit we were being put through. If we could
Right.
all get
And
on the same page, if we all came together and said, hey, we're tired of the healthcare system, we're tired of this, we're tired of that.
and
Like
to
the
be
health,
honest,
yeah,
what was it, 3.5, 4 years ago, I was really into politics, and a lot of people now wouldn't like me if they know me then. But then I found the 1A community, and that opened my eyes. And then that's when I was like, yeah, because even when I was into politics, I still thought, yeah, you're dividing everyone. And it's like, now I look at it, it's like I was dividing everyone too, because I
mhm,
was still on a side.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And it's like, no, it's we the people against
Everything, everything,
the
any little
government.
thing they can
Because
find to divide us, anything,
yep,
anything. If it's going to be race, religion, politics, if I like Tutti Frutti ice cream and you like Rocky Road,
right.
whatever it is, whatever it is. And the thing is, I see you on the street and I don't know you. We're good, man. You know,
Right,
you need help, I'll
yeah,
help you. I don't care
exactly.
who
And
you
who
worship. I don't care who you sleep
yep,
with. I don't care what color you are. You need help? Here,
that's
let me help you,
exactly what
buddy.
I was gonna say. Who cares what your beliefs are, or what you believe in, or what you think, or what you know?
You're a human that needs help, and
Absolutely.
and you have feelings and everything just like I do. And you know, like I said, my pole vault thing is an outlet for me. I get to get some of that out. in real life, I'm a joker kind of guy, always laughing and everything else, and my music's like more tragic. But at the same time, I mean, I see such bad things going on every day, and you want to just reach out and help people, but at the same time, I can't help everybody because sometimes I can't help myself. Um,
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
and the more sad part is that same with me. You can't help everyone because sometimes I can't help myself either. But
right.
sometimes there's people that don't want to be helped.
I've
Some
seen that today, and that's
yeah,
why when I was talking, I remembered someone I see me and Sunshine seen a lady that was looked like she came out of a rich house, and she was standing on the corner asking for money, and we seen her and we gave her money. 3 weeks later, she looked like she was 80 years old, and this I think this lady's probably like 25,
damn.
and we were like, "Hey, is there anything we can do to help?" And she pretty much like told us straight up, I'm doping it. Can you get me some? And I'm like, okay, no, no more of that. No. And sometimes, and we've had friends, me and Sunshine's had friends. Sometimes some people have to hit the bottom before they can go back up.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
and
that's true.
if I can save someone from hitting the bottom, I will try my best. I don't have money, but I don't have a lot of money or anything, but if I can do something to help to keep someone from hitting the bottom, I'll try. But at the same time, you can't help somebody that won't help themselves. And
No, it's true, and it's true too that unless you hit the because I'm one of those people that I had to hit the bottom before I turned my life around, and I'm I'm lucky I'm still alive, put it that way.
oh
But
yeah,
hitting the bottom is what kept me alive, you know?
it our friend, we had a friend that liked to hover at the bottom. And he would go to get cleaned up, and I was like, no one will give him a chance. And me and Sunshine let him stay at our house while we went on vacation. And we came back, and our dogs were almost eating each other, and
Oh,
everything in
man.
our house was stolen. And
Oh,
I
shit.
laugh about it today. But then he got better, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to give y'all $5,000. Only took 2,000 from you. I'm going to give you five. Let's do it again." No, no,
Do it
no.
again.
Yeah, he's like, I'm better this time. And it was his own brother. It was his own brother that told us, don't do it. Don't don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. I don't know what that has to do with music or pole vault, but got off
Right.
on that tangent. But like I said, uh, the music I make is I try to just give people a release from all of that, you know. Uh, and people make music for different reasons. And like I said, if I wasn't writing music about this story, I would probably be writing a book. But I like, you know, making the storyline. I'm doing everything I wanted. When I was a kid, I wanted to do. Uh, when I was a kid in the 80s, I wanted 80s guitars. I have 80s guitars. When I was a kid, I wanted to play music and people see me. I'm playing music and people are seeing me. Uh, you know, and then I wanted to be like I'm not Led Zeppelin, I'm not Beatles, I'm not Pink Floyd, but I'm following what they did. And it's in my own small way. In my mind, I'm making the concept records that go together with all the little secret spicy stuff in it, and try to. If you also listen to my music, you can also probably tell where I'm from. I'm in Texas. And if you listen to a lot of my guitar, it has like a kind of a southern, uh, like Latin feel to the overlay of the guitar because that's where I'm from culturally. I'm I'm from like the country is like the Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, the doon 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 in the back, and then the Latin version of where I'm at would be the overlay, and then for my times and hanging out in the clubs and stuff, that would be the heavy distortion and guitar in the back going. Eh. So my music is me, and that's why once again I always tell my kids and everyone I see, don't ever laugh at anyone's uh music. Don't laugh at their music.
Right.
Take it
Yeah.
for what it is, man. Take it for what it is and realize the beauty in whatever it is. You know, um, some of my favorite, you know, I, singers, and some of my favorite singers of all time, I don't think could make it through American Idol. I don't think that could happen. I mean, Joe Cocker. Do you think Joe Cocker would make it through American Idol? No way. But it was the
What about
gravity, what he was
like
saying.
Bob Dylan?
Oh yeah.
Bob Dylan, you think he'd, they'd be like, "Oh, he's going all the way," you know?
That's the thing though. In this community, we can we can we can break out. We can break out, and like I said, the record companies. It's been nice knowing you. Uh, I've heard. They got rich off of people, but when they and I guess they did a lot of work to get there. They did what they did, but at the same time, when they start telling them what to sing, how to sing it, way to sing it, and hey, listen, uh, we like Ben and Jerry's ice cream. So this next song, we want you to sing about how your tasty ice cream and your favorite flavor is, banana nut or something. It's just I like this community, and if you ever wonder why you see so much of me, like you said, used to be into politics, used to be in all that, and this is a much nicer place.
Yeah. Well,
Our
that
community,
and now I'm into our freedom that we're supposed to have, and to loving everybody, because
well,
it
and
just doesn't make sense. And
that's
music brings everyone together. I've
yeah,
always believed music brings everyone together. Music is something you can't take away from anyone either. You know.
and there's two sides to everything, and the thing is there will always be two sides until you can see the other side.
Right.
There's
Yep.
the saying, walk a mile, my moccasins," and
Mhm.
uh, the art of war. Uh, war will never end until you can learn to love your enemy, and and so you just got to be able to look through that person's eyes and see why they see it, and then you can start to work on how to resolve that issue. But today everyone tries to be this, it's either this way or that way, and don't talk to each other, don't
Right.
in conversation, there's no conversation, and once there's no conversation, there will never that problem will never be resolved.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's the division right there, because there's no conversation and there's no, like, it's not gonna happen. And
And it's so funny sometimes when you do see the conversation, okay? Because
right.
it's like, "Why are you doing this?" "Oh, because you ran over my dog." "Oh, shit, dude. Really? Dude, I am so sorry about that. I love that dog too." "Really?" Boom. "I've been fighting with my neighbor for 20 years, didn't know why,"
Right. It
5 minutes of talking to him, and now we're buddies. Whatever it is, it always never amazes me how simple the answer would have been. Because like I said, we're all people. We're all the same, man. You know.
right. It's or when people just think things like, or they took something the wrong way, or they think like, I think this is what happened, so that must be it. And then years go by, and then you finally talk, and it's like that's not what happened at all. Well, what did happen? Well, this. And like, oh man, how you been? You know, and it's, well, we didn't talk for years because you thought, like, if we just would have talked about it, had an open discussion about it.
And
Yeah,
it
that's what I love about the music community too, because
is
I
great.
believe everyone thinks that way. Everyone's like, I don't care who you are, we're all here and we're all good. So let's have fun, you know.
And like I said, it's so funny because my kids will be like, who the hell are you talking to? I'm like, I'm talking to Chad Freeman or Blue Unicorn, on the phone. They're like, what? Don't talk to people on the internet on the phone. I'm like, no, man. Our community's tight like that, and it's always crazy. But I sent Blue Unicorn the other day. I sent him a moth. He collects bugs, and I was like, hey man,
But
what's
he
this?
told me about that. Yeah, I talked to,
Yeah.
yeah, he told me about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He's like, that moth is a harbinger of death. It means there's going to be a death in your family. I was like, oh yeah, really? He's like, yeah. Can you send that to me? I'm like, sure. So
Yeah, Blue Unicorn's cool as hell, man. I love that dude.
oh yeah. I think who was it? Valerie. I just love Valerie too. She was last week. She asked, hey, if you could collab with anybody in the community, who would you collab with? Well, I was like, well, there's only another crazy son of a bitch in the community that I know. Like, man, that would be Blue Unicorn. I could you imagine if me and Blue made a song? That would be
Dude, that
it would
would
be a
be
little.
awesome. That
It
would
would
be
be.
the shit. For real,
Hey,
that would be freaking,
we'd
yeah.
have to sell decoder rings for it after we made it. Okay, what's the true meaning of this song?
Like,
They'll
I
be like,
always say that you guys take music to a whole nother level. And if you guys did a song together, holy shit, that would be like, we'd be in a different universe.
man, I totally love it. Love his graphics and his whole, you know, what is a blue unicorn and why it matters and the whole concept. It's really, and me speaking of pole vault, I learned from Blue. We all learn. I mean, and look, I don't. Chad doesn't play a music instrument. He doesn't make music, and I wouldn't be putting out albums if Chad wouldn't have said, "Hey, dude, quit being stupid. Go there to DistroKid." So we all are a big part of this thing that's moving. And do you think a record company would ever help out? Do you think a record company would ever be, you know, Chris Lane and say, "Let her rip, Tater Chip"? Do you think a record
Right.
company would ever be Frank Terzo and say, "Hey, man, it's album tracks, dude. That's what puts things together like glue"? No. In our community, we instead of having one helper, I have probably 100
Yep.
people helping me make my music, and that is the power and that is our strength, and that's why, like I said, the really good stuff is coming out of the independent community right now, because you're not dealing with independent is probably the wrong word for it because it sounds like one person. Independent music community is an army of ideas
It just means
and thought.
minus,
Yeah.
it just means minus the, yep, exactly.
And like development of void said, it's very diverse, and that's what really is making the new stuff. We don't have to be a genre. When I went to put my records down, they said, "What genre is this? Rock, whatever, this, that." I didn't even know where to put it. I mean, where do you put that? And that's because those are the little parking spaces the industry's made for us to land in.
Yep.
Um,
Well,
but hey,
well,
man,
shit, man.
I'm
You know
not.
what? I think Dom Torregrossa and
Yep.
Chris Lane are coming up soon.
Yeah, I was just fixing to say, man, I'm about ready to call it in.
Right. Well, I
Gotta
know
make
you
my
did say
round.
like around 2 hours, so I wanted to
Yep,
keep it
yep,
around there too
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
But real
Hey,
quick
man.
though, beforehand, before we go,
Yep.
if there was any advice you would want to give to any aspiring musicians coming up or thinking about getting into the music, what advice would you have for them?
My advice would be don't take any goddamn advice, and you do you. You do you, man. You do. Buzz from the Melvins once said, if you make a mistake while you're playing music, own it, make it, keep it. And that's what's new. That's what's fresh, man. You do you. You do what you want to hear, what you want to do. And don't follow anybody. Don't make a genre of music. Don't be a genre of music. Don't be anything. Be you. And that will be your genre of music is you. And that would be my advice to them that they shouldn't take.
Oh yeah. I love that. That's great advice. I love that.
Yeah. Just be you, man. And
Absolutely.
people might not like you at the beginning because you're not falling into the clique, but in the long run, they're going to give you more respect because you're you. And that's my advice I would give any musician, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. And it's so true. Yeah, be you.
Yep.
Don't follow what society tells you to follow. Follow you, your heart. You.
Yeah. Just
Do you.
do it, man. Like Chris said, let her rip, Tater Chip. Get on there and make that music, put it on freaking YouTube. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you can hear me right now and you heard that advice, you put it on YouTube, hit me up, and I will subscribe to you and I will follow you. I will help you. I will be your coach. I will, and you probably don't want that. But this community, let me put it that way. This community will support you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's a endless well of knowledge.
Oops. All right. So with that, we're gonna call it. And Pole Vault, thank you so much, brother, for coming on, dude. This was awesome.
It's
Awesome.
groovy, Steve. Groovy.
Every time, every week when I do this, I feel the same way. It's like this is my best one yet, but every one has been my best one. It's just every person that I've had on here has just been amazing, and I love it.
We got Manny next week, so I think you better get ready for that to happen again.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited for that. And then I got a
I'm
few more. I
excited.
haven't put them out yet, but I got a few more lined up after that too. I just have they're surprise, and I'm still working on the thumbnails, but it's gonna be awesome.
He's a great guy. Manny is a
Oh
great
yeah,
guy.
we've been talking back and forth email, so he's and great music too. But I'm looking forward to that. I say that too every week. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, how can't you? This is like living the dream for me. I get to talk to musicians every week, and this is awesome.
The other day I was talking to Frank Terzo, and I was like, and he was like saying something on one of my videos and stuff, and I told him, you know what? Anytime I feel a little down or something, I get a little narcissistic after that because I'm like, look at fucking me. I'm talking to Frank Terzo. You know, really, I'm talking to Mr. Smith. I'm talking to Frank Terzo. What the hell? I'm talking to Manny. That's got to be worth something right there, buddy.
It is, yeah. And those are all people I've had on here too, and it's it's like, wow, man.
If I get feeling a little low, I pep up my step. I'm like, hey man, you know who I am? a pole vault. And they're like, who the hell is that? I'm like, friends with fucking Frank Terzo and Mr. Smith and all them guys. Oh, well, we've heard of them. Well, he must be
Right?
something.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's cool. It's really
it's
cool. I dig this
it
community.
is awesome. And shoot, well, we're gonna have to do a part 2 because I've already done 2 part 2s, and we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Let me finish up
So
this album, man, and then we'll come back and I can talk to you about where I fucked up, man.
yeah, that's cool. Definitely, we can set it up.
I hope we don't have that conversation.
Right. Well, we'll set it up, and then it
All
won't
right,
be
man.
about how
All
you.
right.
It won't be about how you fucked up. It'll be
Yeah.
about how awesome it turned out.
All right. Thanks so
Definitely.
much, Steve. Thanks so
Yeah.
much, man.
Thank you, man, and everyone in chat. I'm gonna
Thank
play a
you.
couple more videos by Pole Vault to keep the chat going for a little bit, and then after that, everyone can jump over to Dom's. But until next week, have a beautiful morning, a beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, a beautiful evening, a beautiful night, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Much love, much aloha, and most importantly, God bless.
Peace.
They push themselves inside. Yeah, they run and hide. always want to play. They never want to stay. They don't want to really know. They are everywhere, pretending like they're but you know they really don't wanna know. They get their pounds of flesh just to keep themselves fresh. But you know they really don't wanna know. Just from me to you, I am fucking broke. You don't really wanna know me. In my mind, somewhere you'll never find. You'll never fucking know me. Once you go away, I am here to stay. You'll never fucking know me. You'll never fucking know me.